All right, joined now by Joe Greiner, caddy for Max Homa. What's up, my man?
What's up, John? How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing good. It's good to see you. And I was laughing because I saw after you guys won in Napa, you got the All I Do Is Win Win video going on. And then you fly over to Charlotte, and then you guys get it done there too. It's been a pretty cool last 2 weeks, huh?
Yeah, it's been incredible. Doesn't get much better than the last 2 weeks, to be honest with you. It feels like kind of a dream right now.
Well, when we talked earlier this year and you guys won and you told me that you told them on the 18th green like now let's go make that President's Cup team, and that ended up being what happened. And then the team goes on to win. I mean, how fun was it to be a part of that team last week and in that caddy room too?
Yeah, those events are so special because, week in, week out, we're always trying to beat each other, and it's the first time you're on each other's team. So guys are kind of talking about strategy and kind of, cheering for each other. It's real special to be a part of with the 12 guys, the 11 other caddies, and 11 other players. It's a lot of fun.
Was there anybody in particular that maybe you didn't anticipate, like that you bonded with where you're like, man, I didn't, I don't normally hang out with him, but then, we got to speaking or we got to hanging out and that was really cool. Like something that just kind of was off the radar.
Yeah, I would say more like the guys you got teamed up with. I think Tony really impressed Max as a partner because he was so laid back and he was such an incredible partner, so supportive. He's been on teams before, so I think he was kind of the veteran on our team. Tony's just such a great guy. I was telling Max, I'm like, man, we don't have a partner for New Orleans. I think Tony Finau might be our guy. And then also playing with Billy Ho. They're just the complete opposite dudes, but it's like so much different, but awesome. Billy's so intense and he wants it so bad, and he wants it so bad, but he's also just an incredibly supportive partner too.
Right.
When Max is doing good things, he's like Max's caddy. I don't even have to say anything. He goes up to Max and is like, "Great job!" He's all in his ear. I'm like, "Oh man, I don't even have to talk. Billy could just do it for me."
Yeah, you guys were kind of a utility man like that because those were two, like you said, two polar opposite pairings and went out and got points with both of them. How wild does that party get on Sunday night? Because I saw you in your custom U.S. overalls, and win or lose, everybody comes together. I mean, I know you can't tell very much, but I mean, it looks just like a wild time.
Yeah, I would say no matter what, I feel like the party is always the most fun. Everybody obviously wants to win, but to be able to party with the U.S. and international team with all the support, all the family in there and kind of get loose. And all of a sudden you're kind of talking. Like I remember talking to a couple of the international guys, telling them how great they played and how fun it was to compete against each other. Then you have a couple drinks and the dancing starts, and you got Sungjae in there. That was the coolest part of the night is when you got to see Sungjae kind of let loose and do his dance. And I think everybody was very surprised, but also everybody's got a new favorite player.
Yes, yeah. Tom Kim, I mean, he stole the show too. Like, I mean, what were your impressions of what Tom was doing out there during the week? Obviously, the other team, but he was just way into it.
Yeah, I think honestly, he was the fire of their team. He's what they needed. He's the reason they came back on Saturday and made it a ball game. That's really what they need. We have JT to be our guy who kind of sets the tone, who's the fire, of the U.S. And then they had Tom Kim, and I'm surprised Tom Kim played so late singles. But I know Max wanted to play him, so when he saw his name against him, it was a pretty good thing.
Yeah, that was a great match. You guys came back at the end of that one. And your man, he threw out some fist pumps on the greens throughout the week. And he walked a putt in where if you play it next to like that Tiger Woods putt, I don't know if he was watching that earlier in the week and just subconsciously it just planted a seed and then he went out and did it and didn't even realize he did it. I mean, talk about that moment. Was that your favorite on-course moment of the week?
Yeah, I think without a doubt. When I got up to the green, I don't read a lot of putts right now at the moment. Max reads a lot of them. I read the straighter putts.
Uh-huh.
I got up to the green and I'm looking at it just in case he calls me over. And I'm like, man, this looks like a right to left, but kind of tricky because it feels like it could straighten. So I was just kind of waiting for him to call me in. And then when he hit it, I mean, it looked in real time. It looked like he hit the putt and immediately fist pumped. When you look back at it, it was like just short of the hole when he kind of turned and just fist pump. I mean, it was just an incredible moment to have. And, that's really what we're playing for. We're playing for that moment. Every player out there wants a moment where, they could do something special and celebrate with their teams. It was so awesome how Sam Burns ran out to the green and chest bumped him. Collins out there. It was just an incredible moment.
Yeah. And how cool was it going, from Napa with the win to the President's Cup? And just a little bit about Napa. I mean, that chip in on 18 was awesome.
Yeah, it was an incredible week in Napa. It just shows you can never give up. It's never over. Max, I wouldn't say played his best on the weekend, but he was just hanging in there. And it just felt like, Danny hit a couple drives that kind of kicked off some trees into the fairway, and he was taking advantage of his breaks. And, we never really had that moment to flip the script until the 72nd hole. And, basically what I said is if Max would have hit his bugger shot on the green to 15 feet and made the putt for birdie, I think Danny would have made the putt to win by 1. But the fact that Max kind of chunked it out of the bunker and then was able to chip it in, and the crowd all of a sudden unexpectedly just went crazy, it was like, oh man, this thing is not over. And unfortunately, it worked in our favor. It was tough to see that with Danny, because Danny was a great competitor and he handled it pretty well. But to win on the PGA Tour, sometimes it takes a little bit of luck, and our luck just so happened to be on the 72nd hole.
Yeah, how satisfying was that to go back to back to defend a title?
Yeah, that was the first time I think Max felt, a lot of pressure because he was the favorite to win. He was defending. He knows he's playing well. So the first 2 rounds, he played like, he was the man out there. And I think on the weekend, he was just kind of sitting on the lead for so long, and he didn't play his best, but he hung in there and he did what he needed to do. I mean, I would say he played about his B game out there and won the golf tournament. I've seen much better golf out of him, but that's just showing, how great of a well-rounded player he's becoming, because he didn't have his best and he ended up winning the golf tournament.
For sure. Well, I know he's got a baby on the way. What's the fall schedule look like for you guys? Do you know anything?
Yeah, so we're going to play next week in Vegas, and then we are going to play the CJ Cup. His wife is due November 2nd, so that kind of puts a halt on anything else to kind of make a plan. We're not going to go to Japan or anything. And then we might play a couple of the fun tournaments in December, hopefully play Tiger's event, and maybe QBE shootout would be an awesome finish.
Cool, man. Hey, well, enjoy the rest of your week at home, and good luck out there in Vegas next week. Thanks for taking a little time. Congrats again on the last couple weeks.
Yeah, thank you, and good luck to you, Caddie, this week.
Yeah, thanks, my man.